One. Hey, welcome back to the Missouri Sports Network here at MissouriSportsNetwork.com. Missouri Sports Network, where everyone has a home field advantage. And as always, the Missouri State Highway Patrol reminds us, take that 3 seconds and buckle up. It's 3 seconds that could save your life. Be safe, be smart, and be here tomorrow. Well, it's a privilege to welcome here to the high school game day, Corey Riggs from Mediacom, MAV TV, and ESPN3. And I tell you what, you've got so many hats, Corey, but I really appreciate you taking some time here and talk a little fall sports with us.
No, happy to do it, guys. Always. This is my favorite time of the year, man. When the temperature starts dropping down, things start heating up, and there's no better place to be than under the Friday night lights for high school football right now.
Yeah, pretty exciting. We've had some starts. You've got Webb City team that's now 2-1 on the Joplin team that's undefeated, having beaten Webb City and Nixa. You got Webb City and Carthage tonight. That's a big game there in the COC. In the COC, you got Glendale coming to Bolivar tonight, and that was kind of a blemish on Bolivar's Ozark Conference record a year ago when they got beat by Webb City. You got by Glendale. You got West Plains. It's off to a great start, ranked number 2 in the state. And you got some of the small schools. You got a Class 1 Skyline school that's going to be very good and tough to beat, but they're going to run into a Windsor at some point who is just having an unbelievable season. And then you guys also, dealing with volleyball. You've got Nixa, who's likely to make a run. Willard's maybe going to be in their way. Clever's playing well right now. On the volleyball side, you guys cover soccer as well, but just kind of your impressions thus far of a fall season that started. And there's been a little bit of the COVID situation that's popped up and reared its head. But for the most part, everyone's gotten off to a great start.
No, it really has been. It's definitely a different feeling, a different vibe than we had at the start of the school year last year. It's nice to see full or semi-full stadiums at the different venues that we go to. But yeah, there are just so many good teams and good storylines going on right now in Southwest Missouri. Week 3 of the high school football season was the battle in the Riggs household because my alma mater, Webb City, was taking on Republic, where my son is a high school junior. So Dad got bragging rights in that game, as he usually does. But I tell you what, that Republic program, with the new head coach, and there are a lot of new head coaches around the landscape right now, is definitely getting some people's attention. I mean, Webb City got the better of them. I think it was 56-20, but they've already got a win. The Tigers look like they're headed back in the right direction. You got a new coach at Willard. And just obviously John Perry now kind of in his second year, or almost third year down at Nixa. He just has brought so much excitement to that Nixa Eagles program. And between what he's doing, the product they're putting on the field, their live streaming coverage that the students are doing, there's a lot to be excited about down in Christian County right now.
Yeah, we got permission from several schools to run their live streams on our site so folks can go in and kind of look at it. When Nixa was at Joplin, and unfortunately the weather kind of blacked out their video for just a little bit. And of course, Nate Purrier, Scott's son, was doing the broadcast, and Scott was kind of keeping us updated on Twitter. Okay, they're back on, or you can go here but it's fun. Friday nights are fun for me. I actually got put in Twitter jail this past Friday night. I didn't realize there was a limit on the tweets that you can put out, and it's 2,400. And so I was locked out for about 2 hours.
You finally hit the limit?
I did. I got to it. And
wow.
I was, Darren Archer helps, on Friday nights with the scores and things like that, because we're trying to cover the entire state. Sometimes you've got soccer and volleyball going on as well. But he called me and we're talking, and he goes, is there a limit? And I said, well, I don't think so. He said, all right. About within 5 minutes, I hit the limit. And so I called him back. I said, dude, there is a limit. Let's slow down. So we're going to change some stuff this Friday night. But it's a lot of fun when you look at, we've had on the show here at the high school game day, we've had Soldan, we've had Windsor, we had Kirkwood on yesterday, and a little connection there with SMS, and what Jeremy Macklin coming on Monday. So it's been a lot of fun, just tracking down the new coaches, and Coach Perry, you're right. He's electric. He's just a magnet, and it's so much fun to be around and visit with.
Guy, I'll be honest with you. What Coach Perry is doing next feels very reminiscent to the start of what is now the modern day program at Webb City when Jerry Keel first came to town. I was in junior high when he came to Webb. I had never played football a day in my life, had no desire to play football. He came over and talked to our PE class. I went home with the sign-up sheet and told my dad, I got to play football. And he asked me why. I said, I don't know, but this coach came and talked to us, and I need to play football for him. And those master motivators, those type of people that just have that electric personality. Jerry was that way. Coach Perry is that way. A lot of similarities between those two, and that's about as high a compliment as I can pay any coach. But yeah, the football stuff is going great. We've had fun being out on MC22 covering soccer and volleyball as well. You mentioned Nixa and Willard. Nixa and Willard in volleyball will be playing at Willard on Tuesday, September 21st, and we will have coverage that night on our network, because that will be a matchup between just two of the best teams in the area, if not two of the best teams in the state, and two teams that it seems like for the last couple of years, guys, just always have their eye not just on the postseason, but on the Final Four on a spot at state.
Yeah, Nick's able to bring that biggest trophy home here a couple of seasons ago, and they've had just a tremendous run here of late. They've got a new baseball coach, coming in for Drury. Logan Hughes goes down to take over that program. The facilities, and I can't do it justice. You just have to go to that Nick's and go up in the elevator and go out on the media row, so to speak. There's a restroom up there. There's a kitchen. It's an unbelievable facility, college type atmosphere.
Well, I mean, hey, listen, all you need to say, Guy, is look, Evangel moved. Tiger Stadium at Ozark is a phenomenal facility, but the improvements that the folks at Nixa have done at their stadium, if that's not the nicest press box in Southwest Missouri, I don't know what is.
No, and it's probably the nicest facility that anybody in the heart of America is going to play in.
Yeah, quite possibly. Yeah. I say it's phenomenal. And we're looking forward to that as well. Obviously we cover high school sports on MC22, but we're only a couple of weeks away from kicking off our college coverage. We'll get things started down in Nixa when I believe it's Peru State comes to town on October 2nd to take on Evangel. We'll have live coverage of that game that afternoon, and we really appreciate our partnership with Philip Dowd and the great folks at Evangel. We'll have Evangel volleyball and football this fall. Then we'll end up kicking off the basketball season with the doubleheader of men's and women's action at the Ashcroft Center that everybody always gets excited for, which is that great rivalry between C of O and Evangel. And I don't know about you, but I'm getting really anxious for Evangel to drop that mascot so we can stop referring to them like they're the Washington football team. I need a nickname.
Yes, indeed. And that's, apparently going to be released very soon. I think they've already decided on the name. I think there's color schemes and some other artistry things that have to be done before they can release that. But you mentioned the college football, and how exciting is it to have Missouri State be as good as what they are right now? That it's a tough ticket. And it used to be you could just walk up and walk in.
I tell you what, Guy, Don West and I had the chance to call the game last weekend against Central Arkansas. I have fun at my job, whether I'm producing, directing, or announcing. I firmly believe I have one of the best jobs on the planet, and I'm very lucky that I get to do what I do. But I haven't had that much fun calling a Missouri State football game in a long time. And I may or may not need to consult my cardiologist as the season continues if everything's going to be a shootout and a come from behind victory like that was. But yeah, I mean, not only is the team fun, Coach Petrino, Coach Beard, Nick Petrino, the coaching staff is a joy to work with. And man, sitting up in that press box Saturday night and looking across and seeing a practically full student section, it made this alum very proud. I'd say it was a great environment, and the folks that stuck around until the final horn got treated to one whale of a show, including a pick six return to the house with no time on the clock. I mean, you can't ask for anything better than that. And it ended up being a 3.5 minute segment on Sports Center on Scott Van Pelt. Was such a wild ending.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. You mentioned that game. What have you got coming up at MC22, and how can folks kind of tune in and pay attention, whether it be streaming or if you've got MC22? I don't have access to it here, but the streaming, everyone's got access to.
Yep, and this is new for us, Guy, and I will start everything with the caveat that streaming for us is new, and there are nights it has worked perfectly, and it has been amazing. I've had folks like Wyatt Wheeler and different folks reach out to me and go, wow, because I'm not a Mediacom subscriber, I've never really watched one of your games. He happened to watch, I believe, our Glendale Hillcrest game on live stream last Thursday night, and was blown away by the level of coverage that we provide with multiple cameras, replays, graphics, the whole 9 yards. And of course, we've got Don West and Tom Mast and Shane Freeby and different folks that announce the games for us. So we've got a really talented crew, and we're really proud of the work that we do. But the streaming is new this year. So if you go to mc22.net, like I have right now on my laptop, you'll see there's 4 tabs. It's home, programs, TV listings, and then on the far right, it says Watch MC22. If you click on that Watch MC22 tab and then scroll down, you'll see all the different games that not only myself, but my counterparts in the states of Iowa, Illinois, and Minnesota are doing on a Friday night. As a matter of fact, we've got games on up in Columbia, Jeff City as well. So tonight we will be at Kickapoo for Parkview and Kickapoo. You can watch that live streaming on the website. If you want to keep tabs on what's going on up in mid-Missouri, my friend Matt Wacker's got Rockbridge versus Capital City tonight. That'll be on the website as well. Or if you maybe are a transplant from the state of Iowa and want to catch up on Dubuque Hempstead versus Western Dubuque, you can do that too. That's totally fine. But yeah, all of the football on Friday nights is up there, but so is the other stuff that we're doing too. So when we're covering high school soccer, when we're covering high school volleyball, all of those things are going up to mc22.net, live streaming. We're using this piece of technology, Guy, that is called a bonded cellular unit. Think of it as like strapping 4 cell phones together that can work together in tandem to get out a signal. So the games we've done in Springfield so far have worked perfectly, no issues. But we've gone out to like Ash Grove and Marshfield, got a little bit further away from the city, and have had some signal problems. So we're trying to learn the system. We're trying to get it all figured out. Hopefully we won't have any more bumps in the road.
You bet. And you've got, Parkview Kickapoo tonight. So you'll be in the city. So that'll be one that you can watch live streaming, and you should get good results because you're in town.
Yep. And we didn't have any problems when we were out in Willard a couple of weeks ago for football either. So I don't expect we'll have any problems next Tuesday when we bring you live streaming coverage of Nixon Willard volleyball. And then next Friday night, we will go out to Rogersville and have Mount Vernon at Rogersville. So quite a bit to keep us busy for the next week or two.
Big 8 matchup there between two teams who, Mount Vernon had a pretty good year a year ago. Kind of struggled with some injuries, but boy, Rogersville and Mount Vernon, they're kind of struggling. That Big 8's kind of upside down now with Cassville getting beaten, and got a big matchup in the Big 8 tonight with Nevada, taking on a very good Lamar team, and a Lamar team that last year needed 2 or 3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter to beat them.
Yeah, it's there are definitely some storylines that are not what we've seen historically with some teams. Some teams now kind of feeling that sort of downward turn where maybe you have a year or 2 of classes where your numbers aren't as good, and or just the honest truth that sometimes, some classes just aren't as athletically inclined as others. I know that I definitely feel like I fell into that category in my time at Webb. Our class was a bunch of great people, but the junior class below us seemed to have some really talented athletes, and those kind of things always push you. But yeah, following along on Friday nights right now, not every score is a given or a lock right now. There's definitely some things 3 or 4 weeks in that I am learning that I was not expecting this season.
Yes, indeed. Well, Corey, I certainly appreciate your time, and we look forward to tonight's broadcast with Parkview and Kickapoo, and that volleyball game next week with Nixa Willard. That's going to be high intensity.
Well, they changed that rule, Guy, where it went from going to best of 3 sets to best of 5 sets. In our coverage of high school volleyball this season, we haven't gone to 5 sets yet. I fully anticipate seeing the 5th set next Tuesday night between those two. It's going to be a lot of fun.
You bet. Corey, always a pleasure. Thanks for jumping on here on the high school game day with us, and good luck. And I know we'll run into each other at some point, and I'm going to try and set a Twitter jail tonight.
Stay out of jail, and hopefully maybe here down the road we can get back to having quarterback club or tip-off club and having lunch on Mondays and getting to catch up.
You bet. That's looking very forward to that. That's been a struggle. That's 7 years, and my father, we never missed any of them, and my dad was always the first guy there, and Horner didn't even beat him there. So, but now looking forward to things getting back to normal, and hope everyone takes care of themselves here and just do whatever you need to do to protect yourself and the people around you.
Absolutely.
All right, Corey, thanks so much, and we'll talk to you soon.
Take care, Guy.